Hey guys, what's up? Game Pizza Boy here, host of the Pizza Party. Hope you're all doing well. And in today's video, I want to go over and talk about the new support hero that was just announced for Overwatch 2, the Lifeweaver. Lifeweaver is a new support hero that will be coming out during Season 4, and there's a lot to discuss about, of course, including his abilities, his weapon, his ultimate, passive, and I just want to kind of give my thoughts on everything so far. I've gone through everything in my mind about what I saw during the trailer, which you can go take a look yourself in the description below. And I want to just kind of give my thoughts on it as I read through the description of all the related stuff at blizzard.com that is just announced today. So let's go ahead and go through it. But before we begin, if you do enjoy your time at the Pizza Party and want to show your support, like this video if you enjoy it, comment down below, tell me your thoughts on everything about the Lifeweaver, let me know what you guys think, and make sure to subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's get right into it and talk about some cool stuff about this new hero. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go through the discussion of the Lifeweaver. So, obviously, he has, of course, his own set of weapons, his abilities, a passive, and, of course, a ultimate. I want to give my thoughts on each and every one of them as possible. So, let's get right into it, starting off, of course, with, his main weapon and abilities, stuff like that. This includes, obviously, two of them, which is his heal and actually his damage-related one. This being both called the Healing Blossom and the Thorn Volley. First, the Healing Blossom is a primary fire of Lifeweaver. More on that in a bit. Of course, they explain a bit more, obviously, in the forum, obviously, on Blizzard.com. They explain that with this weapon, he charges a luminescent flower and sends it to his allies. The longer he charges the blossom, the more healing it provides. Healing Blossom was the starting point for this kit, and from there, we built out his other abilities. Our goal with Lifeweaver was to create an accessible support hero who is viable in many different scenarios and skill levels. Healing Blossom is a soft target-based like Brigette's armor packs, and we feel this ability enables players across the board to find value in his kit and playstyle. So obviously, every time you use this, you can use it as much as you can, similar to like Brigette's armor packs, and it will give a little bit of health each time. Kind of nice little soft target related healing, basically. So it's a very interesting one to kind of see how that plays out and how much it will heal. Of course, probably not as a lot, probably be almost compared to similar to that of Brigette's own armor packs, but it'll be pretty cool to see how it plays out very much with the health right there very much and how many shots it will go for. So pretty cool to see where that plays out. Pretty interesting to see where that goes. Not only that, he also has his alternate fire known as Thorn Volley. With this weapon, he fires violet thorns at his enemies in a scattered pattern. While mainly intended as a form of defense, Lifeweaver can deal a decent amount of damage with Thorn Volley as well. You'll get the most value out of Lifeweaver by healing your team, but his weapon has relatively high damage for a support hero. Keep in mind, you'll be unable to heal your allies while using Thorn Volley, so be aware of your surroundings and manage these two primary fires wisely. For those playing against Lifeweaver, don't underestimate Thorn Volley when rushing him. As Lifeweaver says, thorns in the face are an inconvenience. He isn't wrong. So obviously, by the sound of this, obviously his secondary fire being his Thorn Volley is going to be quite a very strong, high damage one for a support hero, which also kind of concerns me a little bit, honestly, because we already have someone very powerful with that kind of stuff as well, like Kiriko. Because I mean, when she released, she was quite powerful for DPS when it comes to that of being a support. Or these Kiriko, if you land those kunais a lot right there, especially with the headshot, you really deal some significant, pretty crazy damage. So obviously with this kind of playstyle as it is, it definitely is something that is quite powerful. I hope for the best that it's not going to be too insane, at least just for those who might get a little bit too close for comfort, maybe helping out keeping enemies back off more than just simply just rushing in and just getting easy kills. But I just hope for the best that it's at least balanced enough for it being a support character, so it's at least still good, but it's not to the extent where it's like going to be just strictly just for the DPS phase of things. I just wanted to be like, you know, just like kind of like a self-defense situation, like keep your people safe and keep enemies back off of your teammates, basically. Similar to how I feel about when I play like Moira, where I'm trying to like use the primary mostly whenever the alternate fire attack DPS on them, when I try to keep them off my back sometimes, or when they're just getting pretty weak, obviously. But hopefully we'll see how this goes. We'll see. Now on to some of his abilities now. And the first one, obviously, we got to talk about is both Pedal Platform and Rejuvenating Dash first right now. These are two I want to kind of discuss first before we get to the one in particular I want to talk about right now. First, Petal Platform is one of Lifeweaver's secondary fire abilities. He throws a pod that blooms into a flower-like platform upon landing. Whenever ally or enemy or anyone just at all stepping on the platform, it causes it to elevate, and it will remain airborne for a certain amount of time until eventually it's just gone. Anyone using the platform can also launch themselves high in the air by timing a jump right as the platform reaches maximum height. It won't be quite as tall, of course, as Baptiste's Exo Boots, but enemies and allies alike can use the platform for a well-timed thrust into the air. Petal Platform was the most challenging ability to lock down in development, and it was iterated many times. We landed on the platform mechanic because it adds something to the support lineup that we've only ever seen with May's Ice Wall, adding a new vertically consideration for players beyond a map design or heroes that can launch themselves into the air. So basically, the concept of what Petal Platform is basically do is to kind of give basically anyone a kind of a special advantage for a nice good point where they can stand on and kind of give some higher ground. This is something I would say is going to be really effective for a lot of DPS, since obviously high ground is really a good place to be at when you're playing a lot of DPS heroes. So imagine just like having someone like Soldier or Cassidy, Ashe, any of those guys having the high ground so easily with these guys. Now, of course, it's not going to be high, as they said, as Baptiste's Exo Boots, so it's not going to be up there as that, up to where Baptiste can at least jump up high, but it will be at least high enough to at least give some ground for the DPS, for example. So I like to see how that plays out. I'm going to imagine how that's going to feel, so but definitely better keep an eye out for that for sure as well. As they mentioned, explaining that whenever you use that Petal Platform, you can use it to get away from enemies or to enable your allies. And apparently also mentioned if you have Bastion who wants to post up somewhere, Petal Platform can get them there pretty quick as well. Or maybe if you want to lift your ulting Cassidy with the hope of getting more Deadeye kills, which is pretty cool right there, honestly, and a good concept. So I do like where they're coming from with this idea. I do like where they're going for, but we'll see how this plays out. Next, also they mentioned is that Lifeweaver is a team player who loves collaboration. There are also so many ways to support and enable your team with this ability, and we're excited to see how players use Petal Platform in creative ways. Now, next is Rejuvenating Dash, they mentioned, which allows you to lunge Lifeweaver in his traveling direction while lightly healing himself. This ability will look and feel like Hanzo's dash, so we baked into his kit to give him mobility and self-sustain. A well-timed jump at the apex of his Petal Platform will launch him into the air. Pair this ability with a Rejuvenated Dash to cover a fair amount of distance, both horizontally and vertically. So basically, it's like you can give yourself a little more chance to kind of get around very easily and give yourself healed a little bit more, especially. Now, one thing that I don't know is that how much health you're going to get whenever you do the Rejuvenated Dash, so that's something we'll have to kind of see when, of course, they come out obviously on Season 4, or when we get more details on that in like future patch notes. But it's pretty interesting to see how this plays out. So we got another related dash like hero now out on this, and also now that this can also heal them a little bit. My guess is probably not gonna be a lot of healing. It's probably gonna be like a little tiny bit, probably like maybe like 40, maybe like 30, 40 health HP or something like that. I can imagine that doing, because again, the fact that when I saw the trailer that Lifeweaver was dashing like very constantly every like few seconds, so you must have like 2 or 3 stacked up, and I can imagine the health that he gets from it is probably not as high, because obviously, if he had that quick, easy chance to heal himself very quickly, that would be kind of crazy, though. At least that's just what I believe in, of course. So I want to see how balanced that is when he comes out. So we'll see what happens. Now, moving on now to his final ability to talk about, and it is Life Grip. With Life Grip, it envelops an ally in a protective bio life and pulls them to Lifeweaver's position. While an ally is within Life Grip, they are invulnerable to all damage. The inspiration for this mechanic came from many places, as we're sure some of you have been on the unhappy end of an enemy Roadhog hook, but we wanted to ideate on a friendly pull between allies. Our challenge was to conceptualize what an ability like this would look like in Overwatch. We tried it out in our internal playtest, and the team had a lot of fun with it. Before you ask, we'll clear this up now. You can't disrupt an ulting ally with Life Grip. This ability speaks to him as a protector and healer, but it also lends some insight into his personality and perspective. Lifeweaver is cool, confident, and has the best intentions for anyone he encounters, even though he's doing the right thing in his mind. There can be consequences to pulling your teammate out of position. Use Life Grip carefully to save teammates and enable them to stay in the fight. So basically what this ability is kind of like an ally version of Roadhog's hook, but it will have no easy way to get damage on enemies while they remain in Life Grip, and it can reach out pretty well. So it's a nice little ability that I can say that will help out your teammates out if they're stuck in a sticky situation and they need help, especially when dealing with like a Roadhog. The only situation I could say that might be an issue with this is, of course, when they point out the fact that the situation when using it carefully whenever you pull in your teammates. Because one good thing is that they make it clear that you can't disrupt an ulting ally with life grips. So that is pretty good to know, at least. I'm kind of happy at least that we know that they cannot disrupt anyone ulting with life grip, which is good. But the only issue I have about it is that how people will use this. Because again, while others might use it to help defend you or get you out of situations or maybe help you get in position, like if you need to get somewhere to use your ult, it could also be very risky, as some people could accidentally make a mistake on some situations and pull you out of situations like that whenever you're ulting or just whenever you're trying to get some easy kills. Or maybe in this case, someone who is trolling or messing around a bit. They could use this to interrupt you and mess with your game. Because there are people who could be like that in some ways, and I can imagine this not turning out the way as you can expect. So hopefully, and fingers crossed, that maybe just this won't turn out to be that terrible, but only time will tell. Now, before we begin and talk about his ultimate, I want to kind of first mention about his passive ability called Parting Gift, which is a pretty interesting, unique one right here. It states that on death, when he will drop a gift that heals the first person, enemy, or ally to pick it up. So basically, it's like a little tiny small package right there of health that can be given to anyone, even your enemies. So it's like a first come first serve situation right there. So you got to make sure that your allies hopefully get it first before the enemies do, and they get some health back. Although how much health I'm not so sure, but hopefully plenty well for our passive ability. So we'll see how that plays out, but pretty interesting to see how that goes very well as a special unique one. This is a very unique passive ability where it's actually still healing wise, but it's more like giving it to someone on death. So we'll see how that plays out. And now, last but not least, let's talk about, of course, his ultimate, known as the Tree of Life. For his ultimate ability, Lifeweaver places a large BioLight tree that pulses with healing energy. This tree provides cover for your team, meaning you can't shoot, be shot, or pass through it. The developer responsible for the concept describes it as Healing Bob meets Maze Icewall, which honestly is pretty hilarious of a description. I actually like it. How heroes develop can vary. Sometimes their look and feel inspire their abilities, and sometimes it's the other way around. In Lightweaver's case, his ability kit was built out before his personality, lore, and aesthetic. Tree of Life is what shaped this character into the nature-loving supporter hero you will meet in-game. Lifeweaver's ultimate filtered through a few iterations, including a healing Earth Shatterer-like ability, which was super cool but not super useful. We also tried a healing toner, but it wasn't quite right for him. It was around Arbor Day when his ultimate started to come together. Trees were already on the team's mind. The original Tree of Life gave its life to allies, withering over time. It was incredibly poetic but not very intuitive or clear on the battlefield. This ability, however, morphed into the final Tree of Life that's currently in game. Which obviously what it does basically, as it states, is that you place a tree and will instantly heal allies upon sprouting, and it will continuously heal them periodically as it lives. So obviously, of course, as you stay within the tree, it will keep on healing you and will continuously heal you for the remainder as you stay within the tree or when the tree just disappears. So it'll be interesting ability to see how that plays out, as it really might be placed in various situations that could be good for a lot of objective playing, all that stuff. So I can imagine how that's going to go. So let me know what you guys think about all these abilities for sure. Definitely let me know. And with that, that comes to the end of everything to discuss and my thoughts on this new hero. What do you guys think about it? What do you guys think about his abilities, his ultimate, his weapon and the choices, and his passive, and all the details I explained? And let me know what your thoughts are. I want to hear you guys in the comment section below explain everything about this stuff. For me, I will tell you this so far that I feel like that this guy's going to definitely be getting some nerfs for sure. Because some of these abilities, I swear, are probably going to be really insane. More specifically, obviously, the life grip and even also the pedal platform. I don't know how it's going to be with Tree of Life. Honestly, we'll see how that kind of plays out. And as for like Thorn, Volley, and Healing Blossom especially, I don't really find much I would say about it until we actually get into a good look at it. And the Rejuvenating Dash, I think it's not going to be that of a pretty serious ability I'm going to be worried about. So I can't wait to find out exactly the more details on him when he releases on Season 4. So I'm pretty excited for this. Anyway, with that being said, that is all it for the video right now for Lifeweaver. Again, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Thank you everyone for joining for another awesome video here at the Pizza Party. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your time. Keep on partying. I will see you guys next time here on the channel. Take care, everyone, and get excited for Lifeweaver on Season 4 when he comes out April 11th, baby. All right. Goodbye, my friends. Take care.